Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 334. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. I have two gorgeous cards for you tonight. Two of them. Two out of the four from the event that we had yesterday, Saturday, which was in St. Paul, and we had a really good time. And some of the ladies are, I should say most of the ladies are repeats. And so we had two new people, and so that was pretty cool to introduce them to our event. And we had a really great time, and it's fun to see the faces and to see them again. And we do this event 3 or 4 times a year. Our next one is going to be featuring the holiday mini catalog, which is the September through December mini, and that is from late summer items through all the way to the beginning of the new year. So I'm going to put you down to the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, just look away, and I will let you know when I am done messing around with the camera. All right, so hold on. So hopefully everybody here had a great weekend. Okay, so I'm going to do that awkward turn. Hopefully I will not anybody sick here. See, that just really turned quickly. All right, so I'm going to tighten it and kind of mess around with the camera. Try to get a little straight here and maybe move it forward, actually. There we go. I'm going to squish it a little bit. I like that. And then we'll come a little closer. Okay, I think I'm done messing around with the camera. All right. Let's turn the light on the subject there. And turn the other light. There we go. Okay, so again, my name is Joy Borwedge. I have an Instagram page at Stampin for Joy. Stampin for Joy.stampinup.net is my online store. PenguinZ33@outlook.com is my email address that you can request this catalog. And now it doesn't come spiral bound. I had that done, and it doesn't come with the tabs. So you have to do that if you would like to organize it like I did. All right. And then also the host code is NQ3UVNXR. So you can use that host code in my online store with any order that is placed with me that is under $150. When your order is over $150, do not use that host code, as I will like to get you the rewards. When you place an order, you're considered a hostess, and you get rewards for placing that workshop order, whether it's just one order or if it's a combination of several people placing orders together. We don't judge. And so for every for anything over $150, you earn rewards, and you get to choose what those rewards are. All right, so let's get going. Let me just talk about a couple things. Number one, today is the last day to go in my online store and place the bundle order. Anything that is a stamp set and a die, that is considered a bundle. So just like the, I'm trying to find where my stuff went. Let's see. Simply Zinnia set that we're actually going to be using tonight, and the dies that went with that. I'll probably put them in a different bin. I tried to, when I came home from the event yesterday, I cleaned up, and I don't clean. I clean where everything is, so then that way it's been sitting around for a while, so I like to clean it before I put it back in. And that's what happened. Okay. Actually, all I did was just put it away. So what's happening now, and today's the last day, is when you purchase a stamp set and a die set, you save 10%. Well, Stampin' Up! Is giving you an additional 10% off. So it's like almost 20% off. Also, the Stampin' Cut and Boss machine, the Big Boss and the Little Boss, both of those, today it ends, they're 10% off. So you can go on my online store, if you so choose, to partake in that discount. I mean, the Stampin' Cut and Boss machine saving 10% off of that. And, you know, the big one and the little one, they don't do that very often. So today's the last day to do that. Now, the sale, like I said, are only on the die set. So the stamp set. Now, this is an online exclusive, so you will not find this in any type of catalog. So it'll be only in my online store. We're actually going to be using this today. So I'm going to put this over to the side. And then we'll talk about a couple other things. In that suite with the Simply Zinnias, it coordinates with the Designer Series paper. And I used the embossing folder called Zinnia 3D. And then we're also using the adhesive-backed shiny sequins to put the card together. Now, that card is actually a 3D card. Now, coming up July 3rd, now these are available in the online store now. However, there are some things that you will be able to purchase coming up starting July 3rd. And that would be the Season of Green and Gold Suite collection. That is a stamp set and a die, and it's actually a mega stamp set, or sorry, a mega suite, which means what we call it when you get 2 stamp sets and 2 die sets, or a bundle, 2 bundles. So that's actually pretty cool with that. You also get the Designer Series paper, the vanilla satin ribbon, and the cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive backed berries. Now these are in that suite. And so that's going to be available to customers along with other products coming up July 3rd. Sorry, everybody. We're going on week 4 for the sinus infection. Now, this is the most voice I've had in a long time. So the card that I am going to put together for you today is this card. Now, this is an easel card. Now, I'm going to show you how to put this card together, but I am not giving you any dimensions just because it's a card kit. This is something that we've already done, and so if you wanted the measurements, you would have to have come to the event and register for that. Now, the Designer Series paper, I'm just going to give you a little snippet. These are 2-inch squares. And so you have a front and a back. And so we're going to be using this. Now, the card colors that I came from, many people said they loved the colors of this. And I took it from the Designer Series paper. And so there's quite a few colors that coordinate with this, our cardstock. Stampin' Up! Does a really great job of coordinating their Designer Series paper along with the cardstock that coordinates with. I mean, they do a great job. Now, with this stamp set and die set, let me show you what happens. Kind of things that it can do for you. This stamp and this stamp and this stamp, they actually get cut out by the dies. Everything else here is a standalone. This actually is one die, and it cuts it just one piece of cardstock, and it gives you 5 different. Now you could consider those flowers, or you could consider those stars if you kind of want to recreate that, but in a smaller frame. So all these dies cut everything out. Just 3 of them happen to be a stamped image. So that is kind of how the dies work. Now, let me show you what we're going to be playing with. Now, when you join the event, like I said, you get 16 cards. Or 16, you get a bag, and you get 16 baggies in there. And so what you do is you go to table number 5. And then everything you do, you take out, that's at that table, helps you put this card together. Now, I have several different colors that coordinated with this set. And now this one here has pumpkin pie in the background. I'm actually going to put together Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to grab my silicone mat. Now, if you're not that much of a crafter and you don't own a lot of product, this is actually a great way to introduce yourself to stamping. However, my stuff is a little bit more involved, and so you might need a helping hand, which is I'm available. And so I'm just going to take my people poker and get rid of that little piece right there. And I'm putting all my small pieces on my silicone mat, just because then I can use my adhesive and put together my products or my stuff together without having glue or adhesive fall all over the place. Right, so I have a basic white piece cardstock. This here is the lemon lime twist, and I used that 3D embossing folder. And there we go. I had to get it. And this is what it looks like. Let me see if I can put that in there. Can you see the detail? Nope. Has to be a little darker. Hey, Carolyn. Hi. Welcome. Okay, let's see if we can see it through here a little bit. Now, for me, this is a die that, hey, Sherry, welcome. So this is a detailed 3D embossing folder. And when you purchase the suite, this is one of the things that comes with it. Now, if you pay attention to the stems, it is directional. So I just want to point that out to you. This is a larger embossing folder. However, it's not the largest anymore. Stampin' Up! Came out with something basically, it fits a half sheet of cardstock, so it's actually pretty cool. And then we have the Designer Series paper. Now, this piece and this piece I have coordinating, and then this piece here does not it's going to coordinate with it, but these 2 pieces are the same. So when you look at this card, I actually have different. And I also, like I said, this is pumpkin pie. I'm using Flirty Flamingo because the cardstock told me I could. So first of all, what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my adhesive. I'm glad to see both of you had a good time yesterday at the event. Now, if you certainly wanted to, you could certainly take any of the cards yesterday and put your own spin on it. Now, there were several people that I saw do just that. And one person had said, I hope you don't mind. And I'm like, mind? I said, that's what this is for. It's just to give you a kind of like a jump start as to this is what you could do with it. Now run with it. I gave you the stuff. Now all you have to do is put it together. Now you can run with it and do whatever you want with it. I do not mind. I mean, that's what I do. I actually saw this layout. Now, I cannot tell you who it was, but it was an online. This is not mine. She actually used the Simply Zinnia, but I did it differently. And I just, I don't direct copy. That's just me. Unless I am feeling very, I don't want to say stupid, but if I'm not in my right mind and I need to get something done, yeah, I will direct copy. But very rarely do I ever do that. I mean, not even 9 out of 10. It's like 9.5 out of 10 that, you know, I put my own spin on it. Rather, I just keep the layout the same or use the stamp set and then... or change the stamp set up or change the colors. Yeah, it's never ever the same. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, now you could certainly leave it like this, and if you wanted to, you could certainly, you know, make your card this way. However, I wanted actually mine to stand up a little bit, so that's what I did. So now I am going to actually use the Tombow glue. And just because these have crevices, and I mean, you could certainly use the Stampin' seal, but seeing as how I'm here, I might as well use it. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on. And give that a nice border. Now I'm going to get that ink or the glue off my, I'm going to wipe it. Now, I cut my Simply chamois in fours. I cut my glass mat chamois also in fours. Not that I have 4 glass mats and I plan on sharing like I do with the event. No. I do that, main reason is because Lewis, who was a cat of mine, who is no longer with us, he liked to eat anything foam. And so I'm just in the habit of cutting up my chamois. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the center. Now this is Blackberry Bliss, and this is Berry Burst. And I'm just going to place that in the center. Put some more adhesive down. And this is Melon Mambo, and I am just going to twist this until I feel like I can have it a go at it. Now I'm going to put my pumpkin pie in the center and just place that right in the center. And then now, this is Lemon Lolly. And I am actually just going to use, again, my liquid Tombow glue. And I'm just going to put a dot in the center of the star. Except for where my finger sits. And I am just going to place that right there. Oops. Stay. And that'll just sit for a second like that. And then... when you have these dies, you have 2 separate flowers. Now, some of the people got kind of got missed on. I don't know how that happened, but some people got 2 of these, and some people didn't get any. I'm sorry. Some people again got 2 of these, and some people didn't get any. So I'm sorry that happened. Normally, I am pretty anal when it comes to prepping for my events, but sometimes things happen, and I guess it was my turn. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on there, and cover that up. I don't know if anybody's going to notice this, but this right here, this little piece, I don't know, you probably can't see that. Probably. It makes me think of a person with a really bad haircut. Like me. It just spikes up. It's not a bad haircut. My hairstylist does a really great job. Rachel at Great Clips. I have followed her for a really long time. I don't know how many stores she's been to, but yep. All right, so this is the veins. And I'm just going to place that right there. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to put adhesive on the side and adhesive on the side. And then I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to grab my leaf, and I'm going to place that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that, come back over here. I'm going to place that kind of down that way, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to pick that up. Then I'm going to lift that up and put my dimensionals on the back. And I don't have very many fingernails. I'm going to put my lid back on and put this in my holder. And what am I looking for? My take your pick tool. Just standing right next to me. Or sitting right next to me. It's not standing. I'm standing. All right, so I'm going to put that there. And that there. And I'm actually going to put a little mini on just because I'm here and I have stuff. And I had a lot of fun yesterday. I love the event and I love seeing the people come, and I love seeing them having a good time. And then, you know, some people, you know, they come with friends, and then some people are faster than their friends, so they end up at a different table, and so you see them connecting from different places. And you know, some people, you know, will recognize, you know, other people that they have seen at the events, and so it's really cool to see that. To me, Stampers are a very cool group of people. And right, I am going to place this kind of in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to lay this here, so I know how far I need to put my adhesive. Then I'm going to put this on here, and I think that's pretty good. Now somebody's going to win this card, so all you have to do to win it is do a thumbs up. You could do a heart. That is greatly appreciative. And if you leave a comment, all you have to do is say hi. And then if you share this on your timeline, now if you had fun, you know, watching this video, somebody else might like to watch this video too. So don't deprive them of that fun. Share it. And then your name gets to go in the drawing twice. So yay. Oops. I meant to grab the whole thing, and I just only had one sequin. I just wanted to put it on here so I didn't forget it. So what we're going to do is we are going to use scrap paper and Flirty Flamingo with this. Now, you know, I had several people having troubles with opening ink pads. Now, some of them are really new. So, like, if you got the new ink colors, they might be harder to open. And what I find is, for me, if I flip this backwards, and if I take my fingers and put them, like if you're opening up a compact and put makeup on, all you have to do is push up, okay? But for me, I like to put it backwards and then just push in. And then you take your fingernails and you stick it in that where that color is, and you pull out and you flip up and you close it. Now, if you want, you can also squeeze the back end here. Just squeeze back here. Or if you want to flip it around and flip it backwards. Now, I've done that too, but I have also done it so hard that it flips across the room or the table. So for me, holding it like this in my hands and then flipping it, see, yeah, and going like that, then I know it's going to stay in my hands. Then I flip it around and push it in. So if there's anybody having issues, also, if you take chapstick and go against the sides here, that will help you. But as you use your ink pads more, that's why I like bringing them to the events, because then I can have everybody open up the ink pads. Just kidding. So anyways, that's Flirty Flamingo, and we're going to ink that up, and then we're going to stamp off. Now this is called the first generation, and then we're going to stamp it directly on the cardstock, and this is known as the second generation. So that's stamping off, because you could see how darker it is compared to the lighter image, but this guarantees that you could see the greeting that I'm going to place on the inside. Now we are going to be using, I'm going to put that over there. I don't need this anymore. So that's my scrap piece of paper. And then I am going to use Words Fail to Express My Gratitude. Somebody should be able to send this card to somebody thanking them once I pick the winner. Now, the reason why it takes me a while to pick winners is because not everybody is available to watch my Facebook Lives. So I like to give everybody equal chance to watch it. And then if you like it, share it. And then maybe the person that stumbles across it might like it too. And so that gets their name in it. I'm just picking out fuzzies. Now, what I'm actually going to do is, okay, I think I got them all, but I'm going to actually grab that scrap piece of paper and I'm going to stamp it. I want to make sure that I'm straight. Oh, good. I'm pretty straight on stamping that. All right, I'll ink that up again. Now this is a spot, one of the spots that comes in the paper pumpkin. I have every color. I'm an avid stamper, so I have every color ink pad. I'm just making sure that I don't have any more fuzzies. And anyways, when I design for my events, I don't always, I have my stuff in my bin, okay? So this is my bin for the event. And as I design, I keep things in the event bin. So then that way I try not to pull things out, but I also have a sheet that as I go, I write it down. So then that way, if I pull something out, I can put it back in and know what I took out. However, I don't always put things in the bin because I might be designing like a month and a half out. And so, like this one, I used Blackberry Bliss in 2 events, or on 2 tables. So this way it allows me to provide ink at 2 different tables by having these spots. And then I gave the option of 2 spots because number 1, I had 2 paper pumpkins with the really gorgeous color. But also I had two different greetings that used the word. So then that way, two people could be stamping. It's pretty straight. Not as perfect as I'd like it to be, but you know what? It's handcrafted. Okay, so, excuse me. I'm just going to take a sip. Okay, you two, I see you're both on. Now, not that you have to pick my card, but what was your favorite card yesterday? And you don't have to tell me mine because you won't hurt my feelings. There were some really cool cards there yesterday. So, I'm going to see if you guys actually answer or not. All right, so these are dimensionals, I should say. And I am actually going to place this, where did I put it? Oh, I placed it right on here. So I'm going to try to go straight. Thank you. I try. Because, you know, one thing I like about this, doing the multiple samples as I do, is because, like with this designer series paper, I had, two different I actually had 3 different designs. So I had to also use different colors because I did not think that I thought I had enough. But I prepped for 60, not knowing how many people would actually show up. And some I actually had quite a bit more, and some like this one, I came home with only 10, and I'm like going, ooh, I like that. Oops, wrong thing. I'm like, I haven't put the dots on. And then also, like the dots, they come in different colors, the shiny sequins. But I didn't want to use up all the pink and then have like funny color combinations left. So what I did is I tried to pick 3 of each color. But I like it better when there's a small, a medium, and a large. But they've been doing just small and larges. And so when you do a large, you got to do odd numbers. So I find that hard to do 2 big ones and a small one, or 2 small ones and a big one, and then not have, oh, you did? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad. That makes me happy. I designed a new birdhouse card. Let me show you what it is. For a virtual event. Now Heidi and I are going to take leftovers, and so we can't stamp images. So we are providing with, this features die cuts. I mean, we have people in California and New York and Louisiana and Texas, and so we can't stamp images for them. So this is the perfect card, and I have a lot left over. So I had to go back in and take the bird out and the flowers out, and then do the individual flowers and the leaves. And so I'm basically taking the same card, but doing different die cuts, because I'm going to send this piece here and they can add their own, unless they already own the birdhouse. Then they can do the same, because that's the greeting. And normally Heidi and I do I pick 1 stamp set and then do 4 cards with that. And Heidi does 1 stamp set and do 4 cards with that. And this time we're going to do different ones. So we're going to take that one and the zinnia one, and because I have a lot prepped, and then they can do their own greetings on the inside. And then we're going to do let's see. I know that this stamp set's retired, but I'm going to figure out how to do something with the colors and change it up a bit. And then this one, the designer series paper is retired. And then I'm going to design something different for this. But we're going to, let everybody know that these are past kits. So if you were in the, last events, then at least you would know that you're getting them. But they're going to be basically kind of like reinvented. All right, so we're going to finish that right there. And then that one right there. So these are very cool sequins. They've sold out several times. Okay, so these are the adhesive backed shiny sequins. They belong with this grouping, the suite. So and we had to use Wink of Stella. I used Wink of Stella at all 4 of my tables. So all I did was just kind of swirl around in the center, trying not to hit the Blackberry Bliss because I don't want it to bleed, and just kind of where the artist put the strokes in there, I just kind of hit that with a little Wink of Stella. And I may not get all of them, but you get the idea. And get the top there, and there, let's see, you can get that little thing to sparkle a little bit or not. I don't know which light works better. I can't see it. Sometimes I can get it to sparkle, sometimes I can't. So this was a pretty easy, self-explanatory card. I didn't have to help people too much with this, except for if I was missing some pieces. So I accidentally gave some people 2 things and somebody not anything at all. They were very sticky. They stuck together. So it was kind of hard. So that is card number 1 that we're going to be doing tonight. I have card number 2 coming up in just a second. And so you could see the difference between the 2. This one has, this one was the, let's see if I actually have that piece available. So this one was this, and the one that, oh, here it is. This is the one that is, I like Stampin' Up! Doing this. You can make a lot of cards with just one sheet doing, if you cut it a certain way. So there's white, there's a lot of white in here, and you could see the white. So I had to figure out how to cut it specifically because the stems, I couldn't, I had to cut it 1 inch for this piece down here too, so I couldn't just lop off one and then not have enough here. So it was a lot of work. I did post it on, I think, my Instagram page of what it looks like having all the pieces cut up, because you have to individually cut everything and make it small enough so that you can make one pass with the Stampin' Cut and Boss machine. And today is the last day that that is on sale. And where did I put my tip? Because I don't want to poke myself. So I'm going to clean. But you could see the difference between these two. And this one we're going to give away to a winner. And I'm going to get out my Simply Chamois, and I'm going to clean off. I called Mike yesterday when I was at the church, because that's where the event is at a church in St. Paul, Highland Park, St. Paul. And he came downstairs to the garage where my car parks, and he had the dolly. For work, when he had a job, he would use a dolly, and that would either be like a dolly, and you would load things up and walk it straight, or you can somehow pull it apart and it becomes a cart. And that's actually how I moved a lot of my, when I moved, I used that. And there it is. I found my lid. But that helped me a lot. And so Mike came downstairs, and my cart that I used, I brought all the stuff in, and so he helped me bring it upstairs, and then he went back to bed, and I put everything away. Friday night, after we got done setting up, we came home, I came home and I cleaned. So I vacuumed everything and I dusted, and Mike comes home from dialysis and he goes, "Cleaning again?" And I'm like, "What do you mean again? I didn't clean last week because I was sick." Too sick for me to want to clean that weekend. Okay, so again, today is the last day for the dies. Now, this is the Country House bundle, and this is part of a mega suite. And this has the, I'm going to open this up. Now, and the reason why I'm showing you this is because the dies are a bundle. And so if you were to go in my online store today and say, "You know what, I really want that Country Birdhouse bundle." Well, if you decided to order the suite, you would not get that additional 10% off. So you would have to punch this in as a bundle. And if you liked this, Chris featured this part in her cards yesterday. So if you really like the suite collection, today's the last day of the bundle, extra 10%. So you're almost getting 20% off the bundles. And so if you were to do that, don't put in the suite number, because then you're not saving any money on the designer series paper. You're only saving that 10%. But when you put in the suite collection, you do get the bundle pricing of these, but not the additional 10% for today. And then also, like I said, this here is the Stampin' Cut and Boss machine. This is the big one. And I'm going to zoom out. Let's see if I can zoom out. No. Can I lift up? Let's see. This is really tight. Okay, so I'm just going to lift this up for a second. And, okay. And then this is the little guy. And I actually use both of them in my craft room. This one, 99% of the time, stays open. It sits on my shelf, and it's always open. This one, depends on what I'm doing. It's not too far from my desk to turn around and get it, because it sits underneath this. So if I'm using a die, like today when I was designing, when I was playing with this card to get these little flowers, I used this guy because they're not that big, and I don't need to use them to put everything to fit on here. But when I was cutting up for the event, yeah, I needed to use this guy. But this one is travel friendly. For me, if I was traveling, I would still bring this. Yeah, because it does the folders and the new embossing folders, which are the big size. Yeah, so today's the last day for these guys, being 10% off. So if you don't have one, now is a great time to get it on sale as the last, last ditch effort. Okay, so today we are going to do the birdhouse. Now this is number 6, and so these are, I'm going to squish down again. So I'm going to loosen this up. Sorry. Come on. Apparently I tightened it up too tight. Oh, I was tightening it up. Never mind. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. I was doing it the wrong way. All right, there we go. Back down. Nicely. There we go. Okay, I think we're good, right? Squish in just a tad bit. There we go. Really? Congrats. Wow, 5 and 6. Oh my goodness, caught their first fish. What kind of fish did they get? My first fish was a sunfish, and then my dad took it away from me and used it to catch another one, and I was so mad at him. I was in 5th grade. I will always remember that because he took my fish away, tried to catch a trout or a northern, and that big bugger broke his line. I was so mad. So this one here was at the event, and so I had different colors and different designs, and the idea was that I inked up with Memento ink, and then had everybody color in using the blends. I taped the brush tip shut so that they couldn't use them, because I wanted my nib tips to be the ones that were basically used. So in this suite, this is the designer series paper, and it's all wood. I fell in love with this paper. It's the reason why I bought the birdhouse set, because it was speaking to me, and I was not going to get it. Well, it didn't work out that way. So here we go. So I used quite a few of these colors. Now, to show you what the dies do, there were some things that we didn't use yesterday, and we used quite a bit. So the stamped images are over here. They all basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things get cut out. And then, so you stamp them, cut them, and then everything else over here is additional to the kit. And so you could certainly not stamp your house and design your house in cardstock, in designer series paper, however you choose. But that's the ability of that particular stamp set and dies. And so here we go. We're going to also use the Stamparatus. Now the Stamparatus is not available anymore to purchase, but I felt like it was going to be easier for everybody to be able to stamp and die cut, or not have to die cut their images. So just because you could see through photopolymer doesn't mean that you're going to stamp it perfectly. So I did not want to have a lot of cardstock available saying, this one didn't work out right. Can I have another piece? I was not about to do that. So I figured out a way to come up with that. And so these images make up the house. And I had them, now some people actually attached their stuff a little early and didn't stamp the house. But that's okay. The only reason why I did that is so that I could show them where to stick the other stuff. Now, why that plastic piece was there is because if the plastic of the photopolymer was stuck to the paper, it would lift it up and move around my template. Okay, so I need my bird set. Now, if you have the Stamparatus when you purchased it before, you want to have, actually, I need to move some of this. You need to have, when you ink up. Now, right now, I can have a flat surface. If you did not have that stamp there, you would push down and you would have that give. So it would not necessarily get an ink coverage that you want. So put that ink pad, that stamp pad underneath. So what I did is I made sure, I'm going to try to make sure that I can get everything in camera here. So I'm just putting the images that I had die cut out for everybody and put them in here. Now, if you were mass producing, say you were doing Christmas cards and you had a lot of die cuts, this is actually the best way to do it. All right, so this is going to be our house that we're going to be decorating today. All right, so I'll make sure that everything's good. So now we're going to use Memento and just ink that up. And if you don't ink up well enough, you can always go back in because it's a positioning tool. And like I said, Stampin' Up! Is no longer available to sell this, but if you own this, I'm giving you ideas on how to use it. Okay, so that is pretty good. Now notice it did not ink up very well, so I could go back in and ink that up if I wanted to. It's not really needed because it is going to be covered up, but I'm just showing you how you can go back in and give that a nice pressure. And now it showed back up. Awesome. Okay. And then also, you take your pick tool as one of your best crafting items. I'm going to put both my lids right there so I don't have fingernails. And this is the putty part. This is what I used a lot. All right. So I just used the putty part, or the putty part to grab. Okay, so there we go. You are quite welcome, Carolyn. I had to read that for a second. It was so nice to see Sarah. I haven't seen her in a long time. And when she's like, I bypassed her and she's like, "Hi, Joy." And I'm like going, "When'd you get here?" She came in at about 10:30. Oh, we had a fun time yesterday. It was so good. And also yesterday I bought, Friday night I bought new shoes because all I had were flip-flops. And I didn't think that that would be, yes, they're comfortable. I love them. But I felt like I needed something more substantial to stand in for hours in a day. So after we set the church up, I went to grab the candies at Walgreens, and then I went to DSW Warehouse. And then I came home, and like I said, I cleaned. I did vacuuming, I did a little bit of dusting, and I'm actually going to leave that sit there like that. Oh, I missed some. And I cleaned in my new shoes, so I could kind of break them in. My feet were killing me halfway through. They were very comfortable. I really like them, but yeah. I needed to break them in a little bit longer than I had originally done that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm just going to let it dry, and then I'll take this all away and put it back tonight. Excuse me. I wish this thing would just go away. I'm getting tired of it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to grab my silicone mat. And now where did I put that? I didn't put it back because it's not oh, yes, I did. I always put things back, no matter if I'm going to use them again or not. Okay, so how I did this was I used my Stampin' Seal, and I just laid down ink or seal. Now, I didn't go all the way to the edges because the paper does not cover completely, and so you have to cut some of that off, and that's why I did that. So I am putting my house on, or my roof on, and there we go. And so you could see a little bit of that underneath, so I am just going to snip that off. Yeah, I know. You know what? I never had to take your pick tool until I saw people at the event, and they had one. And I'm like, I was in awe. And so now that one I don't have to cut off. But see, nobody's going to see that. But anyways, I was like, what is that? And after that event, and they came out with the new catalog, they had to take your pick tool. And that was the first thing that I ordered. That was, yeah, you don't know that you need it until you see it and use it. Okay, so I'm just going to go underneath and clip that. And then, now this guy, I don't need to do that. Okay, so then now I am going to grab I'm going to put this right face up, facing right up, and I found it easier to use the liquid Tombow glue and just, I just want to make sure I'm in there, and just go right at the edge and squeeze just a little bit and follow that line. Okay, now I will be doing my Facebook Live on Thursday, and I will be doing the last 2 cards from this event. So then that way, I don't have to prep anything. It's all ready to go. And I just have to make sure I have the proper ink pad in there. I think, okay, let's just say I'll do it Thursday or Friday. This week, oh, I don't work on Thursday. Ha! I could do it on Thursday. It's not like I'm going to be watching fireworks because I work Friday morning, so... Okay, so now I am just going to put some adhesive here and put my black hole. I like it with the black hole. You don't have to put that on there if you don't want to, but I like it. And then this one, I just used, again, my liquid Tombow, and I just put a little tiny spot right there. And I want this facing right up. Again, use your putty part, and just to sit that down. And now you don't get your fingers all sticky with glue. All right, then we're going to come back in and put, now you can put adhesive on here if you want, or you could put it on the back of the base. And go just like that. I think that turned out pretty cute. Now, we are going to put adhesive on the back side of here. Make sure that this opens up the correct way. I'm going to place that down like that. Okay. Excuse me. Well, thank you. Okay, for some reason, okay. I'm trying to read your comment, but it keeps on going away from me, so I can't. So then I'm not talking and doing, so I'll go back in and read your comments there, Carolyn and Sherry. I have my phone on. If I were to turn my computer on and do this at the same time, my computer is over that way, and I would have to sit there and turn it away from me, and yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm going to clip that off, and then we are going to attach it to the Misty Moonlight base. And we're going to put that, oops, right there. Now the reason why we haven't done anything with the bird and the flowers is because I'm giving the ink a chance to dry, just because I didn't want it to bleed. Even though it's Memento, it's cardstock, it's not the the basic white. I just don't want it to bleed into the other colors. So I'd like it to basically stay the way I envisioned it. And so we're gonna stamp "Hello Friend" in Memento. And I really like the font throughout this whole stamp set. And that's going to go down at the bottom. And then on the inside, we're going to stamp this little flower right there. And then we are going to put "Hope you have the best day ever." And then under that, now, the reason why I'm using both of these is because if you did not want to make it a birthday card, you can make this like somebody's retiring, or somebody's getting a new job, or somebody's having a baby, or they found out they're pregnant, or they got engaged. So if you didn't want to use the happy birthday, then you could still have, a nice font on the inside. But we're going to make it a birthday. There we go. All right. So then we'll clean those up in just a little bit. Now where did I put my lid? There we go. Okay. So now I am going to actually sit down for a few minutes, and we are going to color the birds and the flowers. And let me do the one on the inside first, because I know then I will get to that and I will forget. Also, one of the reasons why I like doing my cards this way is you have the color on the back, and then when you open up, you still see the color. And the reason why I do that is because if you were to use blends on something on the inside, this blue, Misty Moonlight, is going to make it so you don't see through it. So that's the reason why I like that. All right, so I'm going to sit my booty down, and I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pearson mat. Now, even though we're not stamping, it's a thing that will accept the color underneath. I guess I could always use my scrap piece of paper, but because I'm coloring, I don't want it so busy. I've used this, but it's not really messy. My OCD would go off the charts. Not that I've been, diagnosed, but I feel like that. Okay, so I have light Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to use that on all the leafy parts. And I'm not doing any shading. I'm just coloring in. And because all the parts were small, that's why I didn't want people to be using the brush tip, because if it bled, I didn't want to have them need more paper. And I had enough to help people with than cutting more cardstock up. All right, so that is all the leaf. Now, Lost Lagoon is not a color that is listed in this designer series paper, but it doesn't look bad because we're using Pool Party. You know what I'm saying? All right, so this is Dark Pool Party. And all we're going to do is, this is Pool Party for the birdie. We're just going to color its wings, as in to say its leaves, and its tail feathers, with just kind of some brush strokes. And there we go. And then we're going to take the pecan pie and go with its beak and its feet. And this pecan pie is the one that I use to color the rhinestones with. So that coordinates with all the birdhouses. I wanted to do one color, and that's the reason why the flowers were also the same. Because of all the wood tones, they're different colors. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was coloring everything like the least amount. Yeah, apparently I don't design. I didn't think this was hard, but I wanted to make it the easiest I possibly could. Because I made 2 cards that were fun folds and more detail oriented. Oh, this is Dark Fresh Freesia. Now the blends, they come in 2 packs, so you get in a light and a dark. Now this is light bubble bath. So again, it's not something that's listed on the cardstock as a color, but I figured it's pink and it's going to be different than the pink it's sitting on. Oops, that's dark. It's supposed to be, never mind. I wasn't supposed to do that one. It's only supposed to do the back side. But, you know, we could. This is the dark bubble bath. I guess I could just do all of them and then do the dark on top, because that would mess it up. All right, so now we'll do the dark. And we'll just use the brush. Because I wanted 2 different colors of pink on here. Yeah, it's starting to bleed. Ugh. Oh well. It does still look cute. All right. So there we go. Those are the blends. And so now, okay, so we're going to take these off and flip these over. And we're going to put dimensionals on them. Well, adhesive on this one. And this is going to go off the side here. Okay. And then we're going to put a dimensional on the birdie. Here we go. And a dimensional on the flower. And then we'll stab those backings off. Stab and grab. All right. And then we're going to put the bird right here. And then we're going to put the flower right there. And then we're going to add the Wink of Stella. Now, I was showing people this about the Wink of Stella is that the difference between the two here is that this one's new. See the black band? You have to take that off in order for it to work. So take this off, okay? And inside there, there's a pokey part, and it goes into that circle. Well, it won't poke that until you take that black band off. So I had several people yesterday say that they had thrown theirs away because they didn't know to take that black band off. And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, I threw those away. And apparently she bought them at a store. And I said, you know what? She goes, well, they were cheaper than Stampin' Up. And I said, but you know what? I said, when you have Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you have all the advice you could possibly need. She laughed at me. She goes, had I known. And I said, well, if you bought it from your demonstrator, you'd be able to talk to her. All right, so we're going to swish off. And then we're going to go into the area. We're basically coloring the parts with the that were blended. That were used with the Stampin' blends and not mixing the colors in. Okay, and now we're going to do the pink. So you want to swipe that off because the colors will reactivate. Okay, so you can probably see the shininess there on that. All right, and let's do the Wink of Stella. Oh, see? I said I was going to start with the one on the inside, and I forgot. All right, so I'm going to grab the Fresh Freesia and color that in. All right. And then you want, also with the blends, you want to make sure you hear that snap to make sure that you are putting that on. And we're going to put Wink of Stella on that, on the inside, because we're taking the Wink of Stella from the outside and we're bringing it to the card that's on the inside. Okay, so now the last thing we need to do is put our rhinestones on. Now, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up or a heart. If you do that, your name will go into the entry to win this card. If you leave a comment, all you have to do is say hi. You could say this is your first time, where you're from. That will get your name entered into the drawing as well. Now, I'm going to be drawing 2 names. So if you get your name drawn for the first card, I'm going to take it out for the second card. And if you liked this video, sharing it is a great compliment. And sharing it on your timeline will also get your name entered into the drawing twice. So you have 4 different ways to get entered to win this card. Now, if I contact you saying, hi, my name is Joy, you are the winner of card number 1 on Facebook Live 334, that means I don't have your address. So make sure if you and if I do have your address, I don't tell you you won. You get Happy Mail, and that way you get surprised. But the only way you won't get surprised is if I don't have your email and I have to contact you. So this was the card that we made today, and here are the other cards that I had at the event. I think I had one more color. Let's see if I did. Can't find it. So I had one more. I had 4 of everything. So, so if you like this card, get your name entered into the drawing. And here is card number 1. And here's card number 2. So I want to thank you very much. And also, if you're watching the replay, say hi. That will get you entered into the drawing too. So again, this is card number 1. And if you missed it, you could go back and watch the replay. And this is card number 2. So do a thumbs up or a heart, or you could do both. And that gets your name entered. Leave a comment, that gets your name entered, and share this on your entry or on your timeline, that gets entered twice. So thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you on Thursday or Friday.